I can pull it up on my end too if we need to. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'll officially call the meeting to order at 11:10. Um, I'll do a roll call. Councilman Betts.
Present.
I'm here. Councilman Hawkins. Councilman Medina.
Present.
Councilwoman Valeries. Councilman Walton.
Present.
All right, perfect. I will entertain a motion to review and approve the minutes from the February 9th meeting.
So moved.
Move. Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? All right, the motion carries. All right, so next we'll go into the state of Connecticut branding guidelines, and I'm not sure if this is Arlene or Executive Director Clay, but I will pass it to the SEC staff to go through this.
Okay,
Arlene.
great. Thank you. So last week we had a meeting with our Chief Marketing Officer with the state of Connecticut as the SEC had received notice of a new statewide directive that all state agencies in Connecticut, including councils and commissions, will be going through a rebranding process within the next couple months. And Governor Lamont has mandated that all state agencies adopt the new Connecticut branding with the C and T logo, which if you want to take off your sharing, Anna will share the logo, what it looks like. For example, DECD is Connecticut with Economic and Community Development underneath, and DCP is Connecticut with Consumer Protection underneath. We will be rebranded with Connecticut Social Equity Council underneath. And the state will be providing us with templates and guidance in the coming months as we transition to our new look. Some of these templates will include our business cards, e-signatures, PowerPoints, letterhead, press templates, and all marketing, including social media. Our color palette is changing. It is the Connecticut primary blue, and we will have about 4 other blue primary shades and black and white. And we will stick to the color and brand guidelines of what has been set by the state. We do have options that to provide a specialized look for the SEC and our C logo. If you've seen around Connecticut, like the C has the pizza with inside the C because New Haven pizza. So we can look for some type of visual, and we'll be working within the marketing department's new designer on staff to come up with something that fits the council, such as our equity bars that we currently have that you see right here above me. We'll be able to interchange visuals in the future, and we might possibly also come up with a sub-brand logo, which will be used interchangeably depending on what we're using the logo for. And we will be working with our team and the state marketing team to ensure that the social equity council logo is fitting to what we want to present. And we'll be able to use our logo items as we transition, our current items now as we transition to the new look. So anything we order out from here on will have the new logo.
I just wanted to add that all state agencies' names will be changing to remove any reference to Department of. So all departments, Department of Housing will become Connecticut Housing. Department of Social Service will become Connecticut Social Service. So Department, Office of, all of those references will be removed and replaced with Connecticut.
Any questions from the council? Any comments?
I mean, it looks weird because it just looks like a C, but not the T. But whatever. I get that they're trying to be savvy and brand and whatever, but
Considering I fully expected like a husky somewhere. So we avoided that.
Yeah, but if we do develop a sub-brand logo within there, it could possibly have our green behind it with a white C and then our equity bars within the C. So we're really trying to work on something that will be tailored specifically for us.
Sure, no problem.
And we have a couple months to really go through that transition. You'll start seeing, we'll gradually start to change as we go along. We'll probably start with our email signatures first. So you'll be seeing that as well as the logos that you see behind me. That's it.
All right. All right, so any questions, as long as this doesn't hold up anything that we were supposed to do and plan on doing, it's fine. It's the state, they can do whatever they want to do.
Mhm.
All right, so next we will move to Oxford University outreach. And while we are here, I had a quick question on there was a follow-up study from UConn that was related to outreach from a long time ago. If we have that, we don't need to go through it, but do you mind sharing that with this group again, Jenny Ray? Remember there was a follow-up UConn study? I was trying to find it in my email, but I probably deleted it by accident because there's been so many emails. I'd love to see that because I think it's going to matter for what's next. You're on mute, Jenny.
The UConn study was not on outreach. It was on more of the social equity and or conviction data and information. So the folks that were, there was a survey that they did, and the study was they met with members of the council, they met with members of the public, but it was not around outreach.
It wasn't on outreach, but it's useful for outreach.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
We can get that. Yep.
I can share that. All right. And Oxford is this? I'm not sure who I'm kicking this to. Is it back to you, Arlene? Can you write?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're currently in contracts mode. We haven't signed the contract yet, I believe, for Oaksterdam University, but we are scheduled to meet with them once a week. We'll be meeting with them once a week as we roll out our outreach planning for the boot camp series that we will be doing, and then also for pre-lottery education. And what that entails is I want to explain to you, because while we are planning for Oaksterdam University and we're planning to do something in April, we're looking towards an April launch. And we're looking towards doing something for 420 for a training event, but that also is in tandem with our Cone Resnick, when we are also working on the training videos and the guidebooks that they are currently developing now, which is also working in tandem with the marketing agency that we are looking to contract with as well, that will be doing the press release and then the ad placements for this process for the whole pre-lottery. So we're currently in contract, developing contracts for Oaksterdam, for the marketing agency, and then currently Cone Resnick is developing the materials that we will be promoting for pre-lottery. So that kind of will explain a little bit when I was talking about my timeline in the outreach marketing plan from the last meeting. All of these pieces are fitting together like a puzzle, but we're planning outreach planning now according to what we're going to do with the materials that we get, the training materials that we do get from Cone Resnick. And so we are planning that now. For an April launch, we'll be doing a marketing plan for about 3 months for pre-lottery. And so we are looking to do that with the marketing agency. And that includes, again, all the media planning and buying that is going to be done by the marketing agency. It's not being done in-house. So it's kind of all fitting in a puzzle right now. And once everything is, contracts are signed and we can move forward, then we will be implementing our outreach process.
So what is Oaksterdam doing? I'm confused. So there's going to be Cone Resnick is creating the material.
They're creating the training materials. Oaksterdam is doing our accelerator program this year, and they are also doing a boot camp series for us. Those are some of the plans that we have with Oaksterdam University here in Connecticut. We're planning to do a launch in April with them. We are meeting currently weekly. Once the contract's signed, we'll have dates solidified, and then we can start planning any outreach with that.
So their outreach is for the boot camp.
There-
So if I might be
Oh,
able to
yeah, go ahead.
clarify, so
Go ahead.
the I signed the contract for Oaksterdam University yesterday. So as Arlene said, we have Oaksterdam University, we have CohnReznick, and we have a marketing firm. So all a part of our pre-lottery education in the DIA communities. In the first round of the lottery, we weren't here. So the folks in the DIAs had very little information leading up to the actual application period. And so in February, we changed the criteria of what it means to qualify as a social equity applicant. We have CohnReznick, who is the third-party reviewer. They are creating the actual training materials and information related to how they will review social equity documentation to qualify. So the folks who are doing it, they have a series of videos that talk about the residency, the income, ownership and control. So everything related to being qualified as a social equity applicant, we'll put that information out in live webinars as well as on our website, on our YouTube channel. We also will be doing some in-person conversations around the criteria. And this is all getting folks ready for the lottery that we expect to happen sometime this summer. As far as Oaksterdam University is concerned, so I re-signed them up to do our accelerator program, which we had last year. We'll do 2 accelerator programs, and those are the kind of the college education for social equity approved applicants who are standing up their businesses. The other part of what they're going to be doing is they're going to be doing a series of boot camps for us in the DIA communities that talk about the cannabis industry. So getting people ready to set up their cannabis company structure. So where CohnReznick is only talking about the criteria, Oaksterdam is going to help people understand the business plan. How do you just really the history of cannabis and understanding how to own and operate, how to attract investors. So we have a 5-week program that will be presented in the DIA communities for those folks to understand, to give them a better opportunity to submit a better application and a stronger application.
So, okay, so let me just say back to you what I think you said.
Okay.
CohnReznick is doing training videos that walks you through the process of how to fill out the application. Like they're doing the process piece of it.
No, they're doing the criteria piece. So they're telling you
Okay.
in order to qualify for residency, you need to live here for the first 18 years of your life or for
Yeah.
this 5 years. And the documents that you need to prove that, what you
Okay.
need to submit. So that's what they're telling them. This is what we review. This is how we review them. So when you submit these particular documents, make sure it has this information.
Okay, got that part. And
Mhm.
then Oaksterdam is handling the business part of it. This is how you set up an LLC. This is how you get into the cannabis industry. These are the pitfalls to avoid with predatory partnerships. So that's what Oaksterdam is doing. Okay.
Correct.
Got that.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think it would be great if we could see what they're doing. I'd love to be invited to some of those meetings. I probably can't make all of them, but I would love I think there's members on this council, on this committee. I will point to Councilman Betts, Councilman Walton, Councilman Medina, who have strong community ties. And we want to make sure that what they are presenting is culturally responsible, something that actually will make sense and not necessarily going over the heads of the individuals that we want to be collaborating or being a part of this program. So we don't necessarily have to be at all the meetings, but we'd love to see the materials ahead of time. So we're making sure that it's something that actually is landing for the communities that they're going to be serving in the DIA. So we would really I'd appreciate that if that could be shared with this committee.
We'll share the curriculum with you.
Yep.
But this is what Oaksterdam does. They do it for social equity. They've done it for us before, which is why I tapped them to do the DIA information. So we're ensuring that a lot of this is done online. And so any member of the council, even with the accelerator program, any member of the council was able to sit in at no charge to participate as much as they wanted to. And the same thing will happen with the online. But I'm also ensuring that we have in person. So if folks
Good,
want to come
okay.
to a computer lab, there will be a coach. The course will be online, but there will be a coach in the room to answer any questions and give feedback and be just in person for people so that things don't go over their head. So if they have questions, they'll be answered for
Is
them.
there, so I don't love that. I'd love to see if we could figure out how to have a local partner do some of this in person, like real, because I think there is a literacy gap that we all know about, right? And like a literacy gap with computers. And not to say that we shouldn't do this, but I would love for us to also figure out a component of a real class that someone is going to be able to sit in and like have that back and forth with an instructor in person in a like as we're talking, because we have money set aside for outreach and some of this stuff. I would love to see us do something if Oaksterdam is able to, and maybe it's not Oaksterdam, they're able to do a train the trainer method. But if like we're going to be going down this route and creating a training series, I am not a huge fan of having people sit in a computer lab, because the retention, like all the study will show, like the retention of a person doing an online class is a much less than a person who's having a live instructor. So not to derail this, but I'd love to see us think about what we could do partnering with a local person or entity to deliver this not virtually, have it be like a real
Yeah.
person. I don't know what the rest of the committee feels about that, but I'd like to see that as something we do in the future.
So let me just say too that, Oaksterdam this year, they will be able to hire many, many more local coaches. Last year, we did not have local coaches. We had some, but not a lot in the cannabis space because the industry was so new. Now we have a series of people who have opened their business. They're standing up their businesses. Now they become the experts. And so we can use those folks who are actually in the cannabis space as coaches, instructors for our live outreach and information sessions.
Yeah. I like that.
So if I may, to the chairwoman's point, is there a way, not saying, I understand the process, the point of having people who can do it, but even the folks that we've used, like our trusted messengers who sent out grants, right? It's almost like it's centralized, and so we're hosting an event in New Haven, and it's like hosted with the Prosperity Foundation and Oaksterdam, and then you have, Kibra as the, who's going to open up her store shortly. So it's hyper local, but it's also people where people trust versus just saying, hey, Oaksterdam is doing this thing and no one knows who Oaksterdam is. So
we've already, so in New Haven, we've almost got a whole team. We've got Gateway Community College that's committed to lending the space for the courses to happen if we need them. There's a couple other locations in the New Haven area, but you're right. So folks like, Kibra and Jackie and the folks that we used as trusted messengers will continue to be our partners in the community for this outreach and education piece.
Oh, that's perfect. Yep. That makes a lot more sense. I was just wondering, it's like, a computer lab and some people that people don't know, trying to figure out how to do that. Okay.
Yeah, no. It's our
That is-
trusted messengers. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So under if no one else has any thoughts here, for the good of I do want us to we had talked about the marketing agency. Where are we with that RFP? What is the status update? I know there was a firm that was identified before. A bunch of us had some questions on that. I'm not sure we got a full status update since the last meeting.
So we currently, we had talked to a couple different marketing firms. We're still going back and forth as far as the work, what they're going to produce. We are, originally we thought they were going to do the videos, but we have CohnReznick that is doing the full training materials. So now we are working back with them to have them just do only the media planning and the media buying within the DIAs. And right now we're just waiting for contracts, but we have to plan. We were planning out a 6-month contract before. We're planning out a 3-month now. And we're waiting to see when we get the materials. We're hoping that we can get everything signed and completed by April so that we can start moving forward in April.
And we don't have the expertise in-house to write press releases and do media buys. Like, do we really have to outsource that? And I think we should vet whoever is doing that. But if we're going to outsource it, I think we want to make sure that it's being done correctly. I mean, I can refer a bunch of media companies that I worked with in all of my other roles. But like, press releases are pretty simple. I imagine we don't need to outsource that. A press release is something that's pretty simple and easy to write. And as far as a media buy, can't we just work with OPM, the ECD or DCP with some of the expertise that are already in-house? Because I feel like we are in March. If we're going to go through contracting, like, what is our timing? And we, as
Right.
I think we asked this last time, the outreach committee would love to be connected and be able to like know who this company is and vet them, do like an interview before that contract is signed. I asked that the last meeting and we didn't do that yet. So it'd be very disappointing if we've moved forward to signing a contract without that organization being vetted by this committee or / council, which we had asked for previously. And Councilwoman Hawkins, I'm just looking to you here. I think there's a lot of expertise on this council. We don't want to hire a firm without getting some feedback from those people who are experts in this field.
We can give you the opportunity to meet with the company, but we do have to follow the procurement process as set by the state of Connecticut. So right now we're working out what the acceptable scope of work and all of that. So that has to be presented and we can give you that to look at, but it would need to be a special meeting for those, for that. So we'd have to get that scheduled pretty quickly.
Yep.
So
I am volunteering myself to say that, yes, I want to get that done because we're going to be paying somebody to write a press release. It needs to be the best press release ever.
Yeah, it's not, it's not just that's what, so when it's a campaign, state agencies don't necessarily, so we approve everything. They don't just get carte blanche. They can't just go out and do what they want to do. So Christina Diamond, who was our communications program manager, would be looking at, working with, vetting everything to make sure that it is done, but it's all a part of a campaign. So where Christina is working on some other stuff, we hire the marketing company to handle this specifically so that we can do the other things that we're required to do.
Yeah, I just love for us to have a vetting meeting with that group. And it's not mandatory. We could set the time up. If you give me some times that work with what work for them next week, I will make myself available as long as it matches up with my schedule. And then we can invite folks from this group. If they want to join, they can join. If not, but I personally would like to connect with.
So if it's just you or another member, so long as we don't have a quorum, you can have up to that number and we can schedule that very easily through office hours. But if you have a quorum, then it becomes a special meeting. And I would recommend that we do it in a way that we do not have to call a special meeting.
Perfect. We could follow up offline about what's the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll wait and look forward to seeing the updated marketing plan. I know Councilman Medina had a few questions about budget and what was happening there. So if we could have that ahead of our next meeting, that would be amazing. Is there a hand raised? Am I missing a hand raised? Okay. That would be really, really good. So we could follow up with that. And then, yeah, I think that would be my only comments and thoughts. If there's anything else that anyone else has that they'd like to discuss, floor is open.
Yeah. So this is Andrea. I'm happy to help. I heard you. I could not find my unmute button.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to help out if we need support on writing. And I know there are other members of our full council that we have a lot of writing talent on the team. So I'm sure there'd be others that we could encourage to help with those sort of things if needed. I think I would just kind of make a connection point. And I apologize. I had to join a few minutes late. But in Director Clay, I'm not sure if you covered this already, but I was able to meet with the team. I know we've been talking a lot about for the reinvestment and outreach committees and other parts of this council to make sure that whatever we're doing is informed by a strategic plan. So we had a very productive meeting. I owe a deliverable back to Director Clay and her team in terms of drafting what could be the skeleton of a strategic plan. And I think that's going to help all of us as a council figure out where we need to spend our time and energy and start to delineate sort of our fiduciary role as I'm going to call us a board versus the operations of the SEC. So I think that's an important connection point. I want to just sort of put that on the table that we have started that process. And I invite Director Clay to, through you, Chair, to offer anything else that you would want to offer on that point.
Yeah, and so yes, you were very, very helpful. We had a really good meeting with you talking about strategic planning and goals. So we've set up in my internal team, we will be having a meeting to kind of put together the draft of our strategic plan based on the information we discussed. And we'll be doing that in a couple of weeks, sort I think the end of April, with the goal of having our strategic plan presented to the council at the June meeting.
Excellent. Thanks for that update.
And we'll be pushing the drafts around for comments and feedback.
Thank you. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will just wait to hear
you.
back from you all about scheduling that meeting for next week.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.